Sociov is an alumni engagement platform with a specific focus on supporting academic institutions provide career development services through soft skills mentorship. Sociov is part of the IDEA Incubation Program by PhilDev Foundation and the Department of Trade and Industry. Neil Soria is one of the co-founders and CEO of Sociov. So hello Neil, welcome to Startup Podcast.
Guys. Yes, thank you, Johnny, for inviting Sociov and inviting me here. I'm very excited sa discussion natin tonight.
Yes, we're very happy to have Sociov. I've seen your post before about data and career development, and now you're kumbaga focusing on being an alumni engagement platform. So I think this will be exciting. Pero let's start with the first question. So ano nga ba, Neil, ang Sociov?
Well, there are different kinds of interpretations on how people view us as a startup. But probably the most similar or yung pinaka gusto naming i-relay sa tao is we want to work in the education sector. So that's number one. We are an edtech startup. What are we currently working on and what is the big problem that we are trying to solve? One of the biggest issues na kinakaharap ng bansa natin, specifically, probably not just here in the Philippines, pero even in emerging countries, in developing nations, is yung tinatawag natin na school industry gap, right? So when you look at yung recent studies ng education sector natin dito, a lot of students feel that they are not confident. Actually, 8 out of 10 students, once they graduate, they don't feel confident sila sa skills nila. So they're literally lost. Hindi nila alam kung tama ba in the first place yung industry na tinahak nila. That's number one. And kung makakakuha ba sila ng trabaho. Right? As a matter of fact, when we further look at data, di ba meron PRC license exam, yung ibang professional professional career tracks, right? It would usually take 3 to 6 months if kailangan mo ng PRC. Pero pag hindi mo kailangan ng PRC, longer. And that's very alarming, right? Kaya pala laki ng unemployment rate natin dito and yung gap because of that. And one thing that really affects that or is a contributor to that is yung job skills mismatch, is yung school industry mismatch. Magkaiba yun. So let's delve into both areas before we try to understand what our company does, right? Because very important to.
Yeah, you're
so
actually
yung job skills.
Yeah, I mean, you're actually tackling a large problem ng education, pero parang now you're focusing on this specific I think soft skills yung inyong focus right now with the mentorship programs at Sociov. And you also have this alumni engagement platform. So can you just tell us how does this all really work together? How does this all come into play sa pag-solve ng problem ng industry and academe and schools mismatch, job mismatch within the academe and industry?
Okay, so when you talk about job skills mismatch, technically, to cut things short, maraming estudyante ang hindi bagay doon sa trabaho. Hindi bagay sa trabaho na gusto nilang applyan. Pwede silang nagiging underemployed or naging unemployed sila. That's the first thing. When you talk about school industry mismatch, yung mga eskwelahan ngayon, they're not reputable enough. They're not their image is not well enough for employers to take in students from them. That's number one. And number two is may disconnect between the academe and the curriculum that we have and yung needs ng industry na specific either technical skills or soft skills. So for us, ang nakita naming opportunity, which is a blue market opportunity, is through soft skills mentorship. That's number one. Ang daming apps when it comes to mentorship. You have e-learning, self-paced websites, right? You have what else? You have apps like Delenta. You have apps like Numi, who have already entered the Philippine market. But a lot of even ADP list, right? But a lot of these apps are focusing on technical skills. Wala specific na nagfo-focus on skills like communication. Wala specific na nagfo-focus on skills like coaching. Wala specific na nagfo-focus on skills like public speaking that would really democratize these kinds of skills to the public. When you talk about it, well, may mga nagtuturo, but very limited yung interaction mo with the person who is actually teaching or mentoring. Like for example, Coursera. Coursera is self-paced, right? There are some offerings na you might be able to interact with a mentor or with someone from Coursera, but it's limited. So for us, we provide complete 100% interaction with the mentor. So from there, from A to Z, straight up, you get to ask relevant questions. Mentor will literally mentor or even coach, depending on the tools that they have with you, on the skill sets that you would need, to thrive in the workplace. So for us, soft skills, we're not focusing on employment. Kasi sabi nga nila, di ba, technical skills will get you hired. Soft skills will get you promoted. Doon ang focus natin.
Yeah. I think we have two things that you're trying to solve here. First nga, it's true na wala masyadong mga e-learning courses. Actually, I'm not sure if you can really teach communication and those kind of things online kasi maybe you need like the physical interaction that you actually see your mentor and you actually practice.
That's exactly.
And second, yung second actually, yung interaction. That's also another thing na pag e-learning lang or something, or especially with the schools, na may isang teacher, maraming students, you don't really get to practice that soft skill. Pero maybe that's what you're trying to solve, yung parang kumbaga, it's really trying to making the student absorb these soft skills para talagang matutunan at magamit nga in the future. Pero speaking of these soft skills, aside from communication and coaching, ano ba itong mga soft skills na ito? Tsaka, bakit ito talaga importante sa workplace ngayon? You said nga that soft skills can get you promoted. So, can you just go deeper a bit lang about these soft skills?
Yes, good question, Johnny. Hindi lang siya about communication is just one of it. Other soft skills that is very relevant in the workplace is, I'll give you an example, which is yung IQ. How do you empathize with your colleagues? Right now, we are in the 21st century and ang daming trabaho ngayon ang napapalitan na ng AI and machines, right? I'll give you an example, yung mga radiologists, yung mga doctors, in a few years, artificial intelligence can do much more accurately what they are doing right now. So, when we ask ourselves the question, ano yung mga hindi nagagawa ng mga machine na pwedeng gawin ng tao? And that is by empathizing, pakikipagkapwa-tao sa kapwa natin, right? And yun yung mga areas na gusto nating matutunan ng how do you empathize with your colleague? How do you understand their feelings, their emotions? How do you build up your emotional quotient? Right? So those skills how do you manage and lead teams and empathize with a team member?
Yeah.
Those skills are what would bring you up a notch higher in the workplace setup.
Yeah, and when I think about it, yung technical skills, magagawa yun ng mga machine, magagawa yun ng AI. I'm not sure, pero yung soft skills, maybe yun nga. Yung leadership, for example, that's a good example. It's not easy to lead, it's not easy to inspire, it's not easy to motivate people. So I think yun din kumbaga yung important soft skill in today's workplace. Pero Sociov is also an alumni engagement platform. What does this mean what do you mean by alumni engagement lang?
Okay, when we previously kasi when we did our product development process, we were doing B2C. So, there are specialization na need mo when it comes to B2C, and there are specific resources na kailangan mo rin. Financial-wise, we all know and we understand the startup setup here in the country, and at the same time, the dynamics of being a startup na kulang, in economics nga, di ba, you always have shortage of resources. So from B2C, we pivoted to a B2B. We tried to explore ano ba yung kung may mentorship apt tayo, kung gusto natin i-tackle yung school industry gap, ano yung pwede nating i-offer? At sino yung mga una channels na pwede nating kausapin? Which is the schools. It makes sense, right? Now, how do we make it sticky for them? Ano ba yung mga kailangan ng school na pwede nating pasukin yung mentorship through them? And that's through alumni engagement. And it makes sense, right? Alumni mentoring current students.
Yeah.
Alumni mentoring junior alumni.
Yeah. It's actually very smart when you come to think of it. Kasi, kumbaga, let's say a school, di ba? Yung alumni na mag-work sa industries, they know the school, they know what is being taught at the school, they know ano yung maaring kailangan sa industry. So, sila, yung alumni actually, yung gap, yung bridge na mismo to solve that mismatch. So, it's actually very smart. And it actually becomes easier na maghanap maybe ng mentors and ng mentees kasi andun na sa, you partner with the school, I mean, business-wise, di ba? Andun na yung mga you just provide a platform for them to
everything you
connect.
need. Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yep,
actually
you
very
just
smart.
provide the portal for them.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
use a subscription model.
Yeah, that's actually a smart pivot from B2C nga to B2B. But you also use data, ano. I'm really interested on this, no? How you use data science maybe to upgrade how these mentors can teach soft skills. How do you integrate data science, data analytics into social?
So we use data specifically on finding, number one, the right skills na gusto matutunan ng market. We have a long list ng data sets ng on-demand skills ngayon na gusto ng Filipino, specifically trimmed for the Filipino market. Ang tanong is, number one, for example, communication, persuasion, leadership, career transition, resume building. Lahat ba ng skills na to parehas lang ang market? That's a tricky question, right? No, what we found out is that they're not. And we won't be able to find that out if there's no data. So that's number one. Number two is that sino yung segments? If now we know that, we will need data to actually understand who are the customers, who are the people that would patronize our products and the products of our mentors, who are the segments ng mentees natin and who are the segments ng mentors natin and who are the right schools even to tap. Right? Kasi what we found out, for example, and this is very powerful and only data showed this to us, is that hindi pala dapat yung mga schools na tinatap natin ay yung mga schools na mababa yung acquisition ng alumni nila. In short, may mga schools kasi na hirap kontakin yung mga matatandang alumni na. They wouldn't give, how would you contact that and track them, right? So ang dapat palang kinokontak natin ay yung mga schools and universities na mataas na yung engagement. And we found that out through data. Right? So it led us towards finding out what the right business model is.
Wow. Actually, data is and should be and can be used to see the bigger picture and to allow us to make more informed decisions. It's true din, I really like about those segments kasi baari nga na ibang schools, ibang soft skills ang kailangan. Ibang industries, ibang soft skills ang kailangan. And maybe within the school pa, yung iba't ibang programs, iba't ibang maybe age generation, yung kumbaga how it evolves a long time, same with the industry, same with like those companies hiring. This is really interesting, but if someone wants to maybe be a mentee, so how does this really work? For example, me, or maybe someone else, baka sa mga nakikinig ng podcast episode na to, maybe they want to, to learn some soft skills from some mentee. So, are they, kumbaga restricted sa alumni lang nila, sa same school lang nila, or can they choose anyone? So, how does this all really work, kumbaga?
Very good question. This is the same, very similar to sa discussion on board namin yesterday. So, originally, the main idea was that dapat part ka muna ng alumni ng school na yon. And ikaw, you're only limited to getting mentored. But it was also raised by our team na maybe yung mga Atenista or yung mga taga-UP or yung mga taga Holy Cross of Davao gusto nilang ma-mentor ng someone from UST,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Mm.
Right now, I couldn't answer that because I don't have data,
Mm.
right? I couldn't tell you na gusto nga nila until we collect the data na gusto nga nila. So we move by what the market tells us.
Interesting. Tsaka baka with data na makita natin na baka may mga schools na same na like these schools like to be mentored by these schools or something, di ba? Baka may mga ganun din tayong
Exactly.
patterns na makita, for example. Yeah, this is a big problem, no? Especially in unemployment and underemployment rate that you're really tackling. Pero why really did you want to solve this problem, Neil? I mean, it's a very big problem. Ano? So, what really pushes you to build Sociov and to really solve this problem? Maybe we can know a bit
Okay.
more, a bit of a background about you then. No?
I was in Vietnam for 4 years. I was a teacher for 1 year. Under Saigon's biggest homestay program. And I saw from there on, they also have a very young market there. Just ang daming nag-emerge na edtech sa Vietnam. And from there on straight up, I saw yung willingness ng mga estudyante sa Vietnam to actually study to a point na makikita dun sa homestay program namin. As a business English teacher ako dun eh. Nakikita ko na even yung mga students na graduate na, they're really willing to learn the English language. They're willing to learn how to empathize with people from other culture. Why? Because that makikita mo yung mga tao na nag-enroll doon, mga analyst nung una, pagkalabas nila, managers na sila. Promote na kasi advanced na yung level nila. Marunong na sila ng English, marunong na sila how to, to makihalubilo doon sa mga foreigners. And yun yung gusto ng mga Vietnamese and they're willing to invest on that. So ako napaisip kami, why not? If the Vietnamese can do it, I mean, they can execute that kind of soft skill program, pero on a homestay setup with English language as the main focus, why not put it something up here since nakita din natin no, na when I was in Vietnam, I was studying the Philippine education system. Malaki nga talaga ang problema ng job skills mismatch. Malaki nga talaga ang problema ng school industry mismatch. Why not bring that same idea or same concept here? But not just focusing on English as a language, but also focusing on other soft skill areas. So, but that wasn't compelling enough. So, hindi siya yung compelling enough sa akin para, alam mo yun, I'll leave my job there and I'll go back to the country. Isa sa mga contributing factor doon was when the president signed the Philippine Startup Law. Isa yun sa mga contributing factor na I went back kasi there's an opportunity. Pero probably the biggest why that I have was also because of my mother is an OFW. I am back here in the Philippines. I'm back here in the Philippines. And since then, whenever we discuss about my career choices, what I do, there's always conflict. Nakikita ko, communication barriers. So sabi ko, is it my fault na hindi ko ma-communicate ng maayos yung gusto kong career track sa mom ko? Or is it her fault kasi hindi niya ako maintindihan na ito yung gusto kong career track para sa sarili ko? And that's also because yung mga magulang natin, walang data. Walang data kung ano ba yung tamang career track natin, kung ano ba yung skills natin na meron tayo. Right? So, that pain point, which I embraced as a personal pain point, now yun yung nag-strengthen na, oh, I have to do this. Kasi alam ko, hindi lang ako nakaka-experience nito eh. Probably, I asked some of my friends and five out of X number of friends, I think that was 7 that I spoke with before coming here. Sabi na, oh, bro, same tayo ng problems. Hirap din ako maintindihan ng parents ko. So,
these are actually very serious stuff. May una akong gusto mong sabihin. Medyo philosophical, hindi mo philosophical wise. Pero I think na, for example, Filipinos, we know English, but when we go to the international stage, maybe we work outside, I think isa sa mga kulang sa atin, even though we can talk in English, is yung ability to communicate, and not just to communicate but to lead other people. I think marami sa mga nagiging success. I'm abroad right now. Wala ako sa Philippines right now. I'm working here in Taiwan and actually studying my PhD. Pero
Nice.
I also have to admit na kulang sa education system ng Pilipinas kasi ako mismo I feel na kulang ako sa communication skills. And when I talk, maybe may language barrier, pero I think more than the language barrier, beyond that, hindi lang dahil hindi marunong mag-Chinese eh. Parang yung really interaction eh. Parang may kulang sa mga Pilipino doon sa aspect na yun eh. What do you think? Yeah, sige. You have something to say?
I think it's really, I mean, although that Filipinos are very emotional people,
Yeah.
we're very emotional. We're feeling people. Somehow we are limited by communication on expressing the feelings to others. Hindi natin ma-feel kung anong gusto nating ma-feel nila eh.
At saka,
I don't know, is it because of our shy culture?
It's one,
or,
that's one.
you know, very reserved culture?
Yeah, I agree,
Right?
that's one. Tsaka I think may connection dito yung pagiging colonial mentality pa rin natin na parang we parang deep inside us we think na other people will lead us. Pero hindi dapat ganun eh. Dapat we also have maybe it starts nga with with learning these skills, no? Leadership. I really believe in that leadership. So I really think that can take Filipinos beyond. And second, what you said, no, data. I really like that kasi totoo nga na feeling ko lang sa ngayon na ito yung kulang ko as a person and for the Philippines. Pero maybe data can tell us. Maybe we can have a sample na if some Filipinos learn about leadership skills, they be successful. We have data na it's a good model, it's a good thing to do. So I think that's what will also parang bring Sociov's purpose pa forward. Can you just know about the other co-founders of the team? And you also said no that you discussed with the board just yesterday. So sino ba itong other founders? Ano yung backgrounds kumbaga? Paano nagsama-sama itong team behind Sociov?
So the team, okay, 2019 I went through it alone. Everything happened in 2018 in a room in Jakarta, even way before I became a teacher in 2019. During that time I was traveling and I had a conversation with a Singaporean mentor namin, with a Vietnamese and an Indonesian. Nasa isang hotel room kami sa Jakarta and I was pitching to them this idea na mentorship app. Mentorship app, that's what Filipinos need. They need to learn soft skills. But then somehow, hindi siya na-push forward until I went back to I went straight to Vietnam. I told myself na I need to push this forward kasi na-validate yung mga assumptions ko through that homestay program na pinuntahan ko. From then on, I started building. I built the first website alone. Literally, I'm a one-man team back then. Coding literally hupan, like garage culture talaga. I was coding in my bedroom. Inaral ko yun. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know AWS. Inaral ko yung back-end, cloud computing, everything. Basic cloud computing, even the language itself. And then after 2 months, I told myself, oh, this is gonna be difficult. I need to hire a CTO. From there on, a friend messaged me. After 1 year, it didn't work out because the pandemic happened and he had a son back then. So kailangan niyang maghanap ng other opportunities for himself and, you know, to settle the risk of the pandemic. Pagdating ng 2021, I started rebuilding the founding team. I had the 6-month pause. And I told myself that, okay, if I'm gonna get people to be onboarded, sino tong mga taong to? And saan ko sila makukuha? I started looking at my first circle and I told myself, gusto ko yung tao na kilala ko na. So sabi ko, ano ba yung kailangan ko as a startup founder? Unang-una, I need to protect the company. I need to protect the startup. So what I did was that lahat ng lawyer friends ko dun sa network ko, I looked at it and then I found one who might be interested, si Attorney Chan, and I invited him. I invited him to the team and then he luckily said yes. So he became a co-founder. Then second ko is because I didn't graduate pa back then from business school. I told myself na I need an accountant. I might need help with if not on the accounting side because wala pa kaming sales, hindi pa kami formally nag-ooperate doon like big operations. At least with the projections, with setting targets, and with the risk management side. So I looked for CMAs, Certified Management Accountants, and I found John Derek Directo. Asked him, would you be willing to be a co-founder? He said yes. So the third one is, sabi ko, okay, may mga tao na ako, may accountant na or financial person, may lawyer tayo sa team. Now, the next person that I would need to have is, or the next, I interpreted it na kailangan natin ng tao. Kailangan ko ng maraming tao and I need brilliant people on board. One of the things na kaya mabagal ang startup development ng maraming startups is because they don't have the right people. They don't have the smart ones also. And kulang sa tao. So sabi ko, ano ang magagawa ko to actually get people in even at low cost? So I hired an HR. So sabi ko, tinawag ko yung HR friend ko. Sabi ko, gusto mo maging co-founder? Hanap ka ng mga interns. Yun ang gagawin mo. Pumunta ka sa iba't ibang universities, maghanap ka yung pinakamatalinong intern, kunin mo, dali mo sa social. Tapos kinuha ko si Josh Alas na licensed psychometrician. And then eventually, I found a CTO, which is Leia, na may experience siya on software engineering. And yun, we started to work together, the five of us, on building it. Starting on 2021, we launched a concierge minimum viable product. Walang tech, we did things manually through the Founder Institute program. So technically, in short, the entire team was built on 2021.
I really like the story, paano nabuo yung team. Kasi you also shared kung ano ba talaga yung struggles as the CEO and parang main founder ng isang startup sa Pilipinas. So, I think many of our listeners can also makakapulot doon ng some lessons maybe. Pero moving forward, you joined this year, IDEA Incubation Program by PhilDev Foundation and DTI. So, how does this help naman, kumbaga, informing pa the business maybe, or kumbaga, building pa the startup further, social further? So, how did this program help naman Sociov?
For IDEA, they were very helpful on two areas ng Sociov. Number one, strengthening our legal domain. Kasi meron kaming interactions and meron kaming consultations with a legal team na commissioned by DTI and PhilDev. ATBP yata yun eh. So some of their sorry. Kay Attorney
Raymond?
Raymond, yun.
From
Sorry, it wasn't
Digest
ATBP.
PH. Yeah, we have to say that I really like the guy, sorry. And I really like Digest. Yeah.
Kay Attorney Raymond, so ATBP pala yung accounting firm na So kay Attorney Raymond, they helped us understand better the dynamics and complexities of our constitution and bylaws, of our what needs to be revised in our SEC registration, and if we're planning to fundraise, what would happen, like what do we need to work on in terms of due diligence and revisions. So even our founder contract, ni-review namin, and ano yung dynamics and ano yung need na to improve within the founder contract namin for resolutions. Number two, dun naman sa ATBP, we realized that, kasi tinanong namin yung ATBP team, tinanong namin sila, in comparing us to other startups within the cohort, are we far off, or are we just on the right pace, or are we being left behind? So sabi na, you're very early. You're in a very early stage, but what's good about our process is that we have the systems in place already, and we just need to pace ourselves to understand our pace better. So ayun, from there we try to understand what else, ano pa yung kailangan namin i-improve in our financial models. We had several consultations with the ATBT team, and they were very helpful to us. Sila Vinny. So we got to understand more about the dynamics of our financial model, of our cash flow, and everything.
Yeah.
Like everything that needs when consideration when it comes to accounting processes.
Yeah, and speaking of of the state of Sociov right now, no, maybe you're very early. Pero asa na nga bang Sociov ngayon? I mean, what's the tech now? What's the traction now maybe? So ano ang state ng Sociov now? Can you just share this to us? Para baka may interested listeners tayo na maybe investor or maybe user or partner. So can we just know what you're also looking for? Maybe we can help you connect as with what PhilDev and DTI did nga. No? It's actually really parang connecting connecting enablers and startups altogether. So yeah, can you share this to us?
Right now we are bootstrapping, which means that we are heavily on the R&D side. I'm leading the product development team of Social. There's around 5 people in our team in product dev alone. We have already conducted our initial validation and research doon sa mentees, sa mentors, and right now we are exploring on product development naman sa mga schools, sa channels. Kaya we pivoted eh. Kasi if we don't build products sa mga partners, we found that it might be difficult to penetrate and might be too expensive to penetrate the B2C market.
Yeah.
So sabi ko, okay, targetin natin B2B. Doesn't necessarily mean na magpipivot tayo ng malaki. But what just we need to do is mass customize the product and make sure na we satisfy also the partners. So hindi natin kakalimutan yung mga partner schools natin or yung channels because they're also important.
Yeah, but that's true, no? Now you're getting partner schools and you're also developing the product further para talaga nakamatch sa needs and kumbaga kung paano ito gagamitin ng schools, ng students, ng alumni sa school na yun. So, for our last question, Neil, no? Ano nga bang vision talaga mo? And I mean, you've shared parts of it, ano? Pero ano bang really ang vision mo for social into the far future? So, can you just share about this para din meron tayong glimpse and maybe inspiration din for people?
Probably 5 or 10 years from now, I'm really hoping, and it's my earnest hope that we don't anymore export skills na mga domestic helpers. I want the Philippines to export executives.
Yeah.
I want the Philippines to export scientists. I want our country to be exporting, skilled labor talaga, yung magagaling, the best of the best. Hone them abroad and probably call them back to help in nation building. So that's the target. That's why probably we want to cut that school industry gap and job skills mismatch because that's a starting point, right?
Yeah.
My ambition, social wise, I want to penetrate the corporate market. That's where I'm starting right now with what we have, which is in the edtech sector, but we're putting up a product that can work both in the edtech for this market and even the corporate market, because the corporate training market is a $300 billion industry. Here in the Philippines, it's a huge industry. I want to penetrate that.
Yeah, pero I really like the aspect na sana nga hindi na tayo nag-export na sana hindi tayo cheap labor for one, and sana yun nga yung na-export natin ay mga future managers, future president of the world or something, mga future, kumbaga hindi lang tayo on the background, we're leading as well larger communities. Yeah, so thank you, Neil, for this conversation about social and also about kumbaga yung problem. It's a very big problem that you're trying to solve. So if our listeners want to know more about social, maybe they want to be a partner, maybe they have a school they want to join in. So how can they find more information about you and social?
So for schools, feel free to contact us at coaching@sociov.com, or you can also visit our website at sociov.com without the triple W. For mentees, we are opening our batches through your school. So wait lang kayo, we will be in your campus really soon. For mentors, if you want to earn through Sociov, also registration will happen in your school for alumni mentors. We are working with 5 different schools right now. We're moving really at a good pace, and we hope that we get to close and seal partnerships with them so that we can reach mentors, help especially yung mga papagraduate na estudyante na alumni. They might need, extra income, mentoring students. So
Yeah, so basically with the school, for example, if I belong to a school, maybe yung school ko nga ay partner ni Sociov, yung Sociov will help the alumni program of that school, give the platform, the alumni can mentor, the students can be a mentee, and then nakakonect ng Sociov itong gap na to. So
exactly.
yeah, maraming salamat Neil for this conversation.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate everything you've shared for this episode. So salamat.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much to our 27 patrons. This episode is powered by Outswitch, Tuala, Hive Energy PH, ePlayment, and Interleukin. This episode is super powered by Pinoy IP Works. Capture your startup's unique value proposition through patent and trademark protection. Pocketworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. And 8chain, an 8-in-1 cryptocurrency project building one chain at a time starting with Maxrep, Workout, and Earn. ROC.ph is our official marketing partner. Get unlimited digital marketing services for only 500 pesos per month. AskLexPH Academy is our official e-learning partner. Pursue lifelong learning and get certified on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. Support us using the links in the description below.